You can gain tour level like impact conditions just by applying this one simple drill every practice session. Now, before we get into this drill that's going to transform your impact condition, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below so you never miss out on weekly videos just like this, all to help you play better golf. Let's get to the video. So when I'm walking up and down the range where I teach back at home, I see so many players, and I mean so many players, get into impact with super square hips, where the hips thrusting forwards towards the golf ball, the pelvis is underneath, kind of tucked under, zero rotation at all. And what happens when golfers get into this position is it's a disaster for impact, it's a disaster for strike, and it's a disaster for hitting the middle of the club face. So when the hips go forwards, we really do need to stand the body up. And when we stand the body up, we're on our toes, so we're jumping out of the shop. This isn't really conducive of very good turn. When we're closer to the ball, we're also moving that heel towards the golf ball as well. And we also can pick the club up to a point where, if I just show you here, if I raise the handle up, the head comes towards me. So that'd give me a toe strike. If I'm also this way, I actually need to do a little bit of this, otherwise I'd just miss the ball completely. So everybody's reacting to something, whether it's an open face, a shut face, a throw, everybody's reacting to something, but there's a drill that I've got that's really gonna help you fix that. But before we get onto that, the other thing that it actually does, actually throws the speed out far too early, because it causes us to release the club so we can find the bottom of the grass, as opposed to being in a flex, kind of front bend, right side down position at rotation where we can find the bottom of that golf ball. So we really just need to understand what sort of impact position we need to be in. We don't see any of the top players in the world in a forward position with a pelvis where there's no rotation with the hips and the shoulders are really square. We see every player pretty much on tour where the left butt cheek is back, so you can see it in the camera here. The handle is forwards and they've got pressure going forwards as well. And that's because the body is leading that move. There's no throw with the hands, which causes us to under rotate and thrust like I just demonstrated. The body is pulling the arms, which is therefore pulling the club. So you see so many good players in that sort of positions, and that's exactly what this drill is going to do for your game. So let's have a little look at what this drill is, how you can put it into your game and your practice so you can get to that tour level impact position. So we're going to do this drill in 3 phases, and the third one, if you can get the third one, it means that it's going to completely change your game. But let's look at step 1 first. So I've got a pitching wedge here, and you're going to need some loft to start this process as a phase 1 perspective. And all I want you to do, really, really simple, is put your trail hand on the golf club first, and you're just going to take a very narrow stance, maybe 1, 2, 3 club head widths apart. And all I want you to do is make a short backswing and a follow through and stop the club as soon as you physically can. So imagine there's a golf ball there. I'm going to do a half swing back, hit it, and then we're going to almost stop. Have a look what my body's doing to actually stop that club. So I'm putting some pressure into the ground, as you can see, but for me to actually get the strength to stop this club, I need the body working ahead of everything first. If I couldn't do that now, if I couldn't stop it like that, you see my body isn't turning at all. It doesn't actually happen. So to even stop the club, if you imagine I'm hitting a brick wall just after impact, or maybe you've got a big heavy impact bag or something, to stop it there, I need the body turning. So you can see the left butt cheek, you can see the chest is open to the target, you see the handles forwards. I haven't put any more strength or anything into that shot. I've got a super light grip pressure, and I'm just making the right mechanical movements in order to stop that golf club. So phase 1, can you hit a ball maybe 30 yards to begin with? 30 yards, let's go as if I'm knocking it on that next tee box. So narrow stance, I'm just going to grip it with a trail hand, little half swing, I'm just going to try and hit it and stop as soon as possible. Perfect. So you see that ball launched super straight. Check out the replay on that one of how my body moved in order to even stop that golf club. I had super great face control, my body was in control, it was a super easy action, there was no effort from myself. The second progression to that now is, can you do exactly the same thing but with the lead hand now? So exactly the same motion. We want move back halfway, roughly left arm parallel, and then we're just going to go through and just try and stop that club. This is a little bit harder for me because I'm right hand dominant. So you're going to do your easy hand first if you're right dominant like I am, and then you're going to progress onto your weak hand. So same stance, same setup, and you're just going to try and knock that ball away, maybe the same distance. So back, through, perfect. I didn't actually manage to stop it as quickly as I wanted, but I had to have exactly the same rotation and movement in order to not let the head overtake. And that's what I see so often when I get players even attempting this drill, is that the first thing they'll do is just send the club through. They won't be in a position to actually stop the club. So this drill is really training you to understand what position your body needs to be in at impact to even stop that golf club. And now after you've done it a few times, maybe short distance, 20, 30, 40 yards, right, left hand, pop both hands on that golf club now and see if you can do exactly the same thing. So up to the top, you're going to try and stop as quickly. You should have a good feeling of where your body needs to be in order to stop that golf club. So same thing, narrow stance, forward position. Just going to do a half swing again, just both hands on now. So up, stop it. Perfect. So you can see my impact position there. It's probably what a lot of you guys and girls watching this video are craving, and I've just learnt that in a few simple steps. So if you start to implement that every time you practice, just a handful of shots, you're going to really quickly get the understanding of what you need to do to get to that tour level like impact position, where the body needs to feel for you to get there. Let's progress this one more time. So now I've got a 6-iron in my hands, and I'm just going to do exactly the same thing as what I've been doing, but this is going to be a full swing now. So if you've successfully managed to do stages 1 and 2, this is the third and final phase. So I'm going to do a normal golf swing in terms of backswing, but again, I'm going to try and stop that club as quickly as possible. Check out my 6-iron impact position if I do this correctly. Perfect. You can hear the sound of that strike, and you can see what position my body was in to even get there. So I've learned myself and understood myself through doing phase 1 and 2 how I can get to impact. And trust me, I've got some really successful students like these that are playing in the video now that have managed to work into the same positions through doing that exact drill. So put that into your practice, handful of shots, start off slow, maybe phase 1 short, phase 2 progress, phase 3 is your 3/4 swing, exactly the same principles. Hope that helps. Let me know down in the comments what you want to see here on the channel from me next. Make sure you subscribe, and we will see you soon.